Right, picking up where we left off before, I'll give you a quick tour around the board. Second time I'm doing this, so I've just removed that one there, but that's the Joy-Con rail on the left-hand side of the console. Speaker connects into here. You've got your USB ports. That's where the RAM sits with the APU under there. Your fan, your card reader sits there. Right Joy-Con rail there, and this one here is for the backlight on the screen, and you've got your Bluetooth and your wireless cables, and that's where the screen connects into the main board. Walking through this process in terms of removing something, you just simply lift up the connector just by putting something underneath it. You can use your finger or a pair of tweezers, and then just gently remove it like so. So that's one of those and one of those there. Should just disconnect. There you go. And these ones pop up, so they're just kind of like show you that there, like a button almost. And the same here. Oh, that's interesting. I think that one's already disconnected, which again is signs that somebody else has been in here other than there. So what we're going to do is just very quickly remove as many screws as possible so we can get at the board. Now what you'll see is that there are a series of black screws, and the black ones are just simply putting the board into the casing. And there's one there, one up here, and one up here underneath this white cable, and the fourth one is actually hidden. I'm just going to use a tweezer to remove that there. The fourth one is actually hidden underneath the card reader here, so the next thing that you realistically need to do is to remove this heatsink over the fan. So it's just 3 screws, 1, 2 and 3. Let's get those out. Now you can just gently lift this up here, and like I mentioned before, this would normally be fixed to the console, but because someone's been in here previously, they've ripped it, which is not ideal, but it's equally not the end of the world. It doesn't really make any difference to the kind of the thermal processing or the heat from the APU or anything along those lines. That just holds in the headphone jack. There's a little ribbon cable here which is for the touch screen, which fits into the card. Okay, there. And this is now good to come out, so you can just put a little tweezer under there, lift that up, and I've missed a screw. That's pretty standard. Moving the screw there, screw comes out, and that's your card reader. No signs of liquid damage on that, which is positive. Right, here you've got your power and volume button ribbon cable. I'll just remove that. You've got the fan connecting to the board there. I'll remove that there. And then you've got the LCD connector into the board, which I'm just going to lift out like so. Bend that back. All of these are already disconnected. The speakers, you kind of have to hold both of the wires at the same time and then just pull in the opposite direction of the clasp. I recommend doing it with your hands rather than with the tweezers, because you can end up pulling on both of them at the same time, or one of them rather than the other, and it can pull the cable out. This is for the USB port, 2 screws at the bottom for the USB port. That just helps keep it strong. I mentioned that screw that was in there, that's obviously been taken out by the previous owner. Again, messing around with this board. My perspectives on whether this is actually going to get fixed at this point in time are decreasing, because the further you go in and the more bits you find missing indicates that somebody's given it a go previously and they haven't managed to do it. Here, these 3 screws hold the fan in. You don't need to remove them in their entirety. but the fan normally just sits slightly on top of the main board. So if you want the board out, you kind of need to just loosen the fan a little bit, and that is a switch in its entirety, that there. So that's the casing, and that's the actual main board, and I'm going to stop this video here, and we'll get to test this board a little bit and see what's going on with it.